Hey guys, just got done watching 1995's The Candy remake, Candyman Farewell to the Flesh from NGM. Now, this has got a special features. It's original theatrical trailer and audio commentary by director Bill Condon. Inside, just the DVD in the case. Cost me $2. So, on the back, on the front, it says scarier than the original, Fort Worth Star. And the compulsive chiller, the Washington Post. Now, Tony Todd stars as the Candyman through all three movies, and this one stars Tony Todd, Kelly Rowan, Timothy Carhart, and Veronica Cartwright. And it's not a bad movie. It's just not very good. What I mean by that is it's not a bad movie, but it has a lot of problems. Like for instance, uh, me losing my words. I just like getting, what I do is I like getting the page up, so if I can't remember someone's name, I can just go, okay. Anyway, so the film starts out with but it basically starts out with a guy talking about his book, Candyman. And somebody's watching him, a bloke, from afar. And you're like, this bloke's looking a bit too seriously. So somebody in the audience of the thing says to him, if you don't believe in the Candyman, say his name 5 times in the mirror. Now, the book's shiny like a mirror, and he says it 5 times. Now, in reality, surely that won't count, because it's supposed to be in a mirror. So if I looked into this camera right now, with it shining back at me, and said it, does that mean I'm going to die? It seems a bit ridiculous when it's supposed to be a mirror. That's one of my first problems. So he says it 5 times, and then somebody attacks him with a hook from behind the screen. It's just somebody pretending to be the Candyman as a joke on the audience. So the writer leaves, and he bumps into Ethan Tarrant, who basically his dad believed what this guy said his name, and ended up dying. And Ethan basically threatens him in the pub or in the wherever you want to call it. And voila, this is set in New Orleans, which also was the area that you said at the beginning. It's also a place where Hard Target was filmed, most of it. So that was quite interesting because Hard Target is one of my favourite films, the Jean-Claude Van Damme film. So basically, he punches the bloke or cuts him in some way, and he ends up going to the bathroom, the restroom, and that's where he puts his head down like this, and he looks out in the mirror, and there's the Candyman, Tony Todd. Now, he didn't look as menacing in this one to me as he did in the original. Maybe because he was 3 years younger, maybe, I don't know. But he seemed like more soft and more, what do you call it? In this, he seems more human, and I'll talk about that more later on. So he kills the bloke. And Ethan basically gets the blame, and he gets put into like custody and so forth. So his sister Annie decides to go searching for what really happened. And that's when she finds her and her husband, I think it was her husband, they go looking at their old house for clothes. And eventually, they bump into some homeless people who are annoying, and then she decides to go up into the attic. Or loft. I'm not sure because I'm not used to the American terms. It's either attic or loft. It's one of them. And there's pictures painted on the wall of the Candyman with the bad things that happen to him, which caused him to become the Candyman. Then right at the end of the wall, on the scene, there's like this shrine with these candles and the Candyman picture with him with the hook, black coat and everything. It's really creepy. So you're like, ooh, this is creepy. But you also find out her mum's got cancer. So, next thing we know, she goes to school, and it's an all-black school from the looks of it. All-black kids' school. And I've got a feeling for the Candyman, he's supposed to be kind of like, I don't know, because it's not your normal kind of scary horror villain. I mean, most horror villains, they're either white, they're either disfigured. He is disfigured with his hand, but disfigured in the face and stuff, or they're masked or something. The Candyman he dresses up a bit like a pimp, It's got the thing, and that's, I don't know if it's supposed to be some sort of, I don't know, Jamaican, African, whatever kind of story, like Bloody Mary kind of thing. I don't know, because they're always the ones that are more worried about him than anyone else. So that's not, again, that's not me being racist. That's just me trying to point out a fact. Sometimes I say the wrong thing, so I apologise if anyone gets offended by that. So anyway, she's in the school, and they go, say his name 5 times because it's scary. And he took Michael, and you're like, he took a little kid. And yes, he did take a baby in the original one, but you know, you're not going to think, oh, he's going to take a 12-year-old kid. So she says it, nothing happens. She goes into her bathroom at home a little bit later. He turns up, he kills her boyfriend / husband, and then the horror begins. Now, I have to admit, it's set on Mardi Gras as well. There's this big party going on. To be honest, nothing really happens with Mardi Gras at all. Other than people dancing in the street the whole time. And to be honest, I felt it could have been a lot better, like more utilised, more used, but it wasn't. She basically finds more things out. Like, for instance, one of my biggest problems with this movie, and this is going to sound quite funny, is the fact that in the original one, the Candyman was mysterious. He had this really disturbed atmosphere to him. He had this kind of painful feeling, like he could make your life a living hell just by whispering in your ear and destroying your mental sanity. In this, it's more human. What I mean by that is you hear his backstory multiple times of how he became the Candyman. He even tells Annie the whole story and goes, and that's why they hurt me. And you're like, but you're not supposed to care. Don't get me wrong, yeah, you're hurt from it, but you're not supposed to use that. It's supposed to be something that's made you the way you are. And you don't care about it anymore. You care about getting one with a woman, being with a woman, having a baby, whatever it is you want. You know, you don't see Freddy Krueger going, they burnt me. They all burnt me in every film. Yeah. They burnt me. They destroyed my face. You know, they disfigured me. You know, I think you hear him say it in one movie. I think. But you don't hear him go on and on and on about it, like, my skin. Or you don't hear Jason Voorhees going, they killed my mama. They killed my mum. No, they killed my mum constantly. Yes, wherever I was born, there's some hints of it in the films. In the Friday the 13th. And you see it. But you don't hear him talk about it, do you? Right? Michael Myers. Oh, my family. I hate them all. I'm going to kill them all. It's my plot. And that's why I'm here. But I don't go about anything else about me. Well, not until the remakes are made. Well, apparently I was abused and I killed people and I enjoyed it. And I walk around like a homeless bum. But going back to Candyman. Farewell to the Flesh. It's an alright film. It's got a fairly good atmosphere. Nowhere near the first one. And the woman who plays Annie, who is Kelly Rowan, she's pretty good. I enjoyed her. I enjoyed her acting. I thought she was great. The storytelling was pretty well. Like when she looks at their old house and she sees the old slave house thing, you know that's going to have something to do with the ending. You just know. Because you're like, that won't be pointed out otherwise, would it? So the ending is actually quite funny because there's a really bad CGI scene, and it's so bad now that it makes you kind of wince at it, like ugh. Because the 90's was probably the decade really of the worst CGI going. You know, like when they get sliced, you see these little chunks come off of people, like boom, boom, and then smash kind of thing. You know, but the whole thing about the ending for me, spoiler, I'm sorry if this spoils it for you, this is a spoiler, is it says that he even tells her it's the mirror that gives him his power, right? Why would you tell someone where your power comes from? You know, I mean, yeah, Freddy Krueger goes in your dreams, but that's because no one can stop dreaming. You know what I mean? If you don't go to sleep, you're going to die. You have to sleep at some point. You don't have to look in the mirror. She destroys the mirror. He turns into these chunks. He starts going. It's like watching The Cube, where that guy gets sliced to shreds. That's what it was like. Except he didn't get sliced to shreds. He just fell apart and then he smashed. And you're like, so in the first one, he burns to death. In the second one, he gets sliced to death. Technically, the slices come off him. Like, but there was one really, really good bit I liked. She scratches him on the face like there. And as soon as it opens, bees start crawling out. I really, really like that. I don't know why, but really, really liked it. I didn't like the DJ bloke at the Mardi Gras. It just annoyed me hearing him constantly. So yeah, the film, I'd give it. I didn't give the other one a rating, did I? Candyman 1 is definitely a 4.5. I can't believe I forgot to give it a rating. It's a 4.5, number 1. Number 2, Candyman Fell to the Flesh is probably a 3. Because I really did like it, but there was so much wrong with it as well at the same time. But it just was nowhere as good as the first one. It had some really good bits, but I feel like they fleshed out the character of the Candyman too much. They made him more human. You don't do that. I mean, you shouldn't do that. Because we want to know what caused him to be the way he is, but you don't want him to be on a human part where you're not scared of him anymore. The kills were good, but at the same time I was watching it, I was like, what is this? Is this a horror film? Is this guy supposed to scare me? Or am I supposed to feel sorry for him? And supposed to didn't feel sorry for him. All it made me realise was the people that killed him were serious racists, and that's why he's always trying to get with white girls. If you know what I'm saying. That's what it taught me. White blonde-haired girls reminded me of Caroline, the woman he was in love with, who caused the pain that he ended up with because people didn't like it, so they cut off his arm and they put honeycomb over him and he got bitten by bees and died. But that goes on for this whole film. Like, oh, he did this happened to him. In the first one, you hear about it once. There's implied and all this, and it's a lot scarier, the story. In this, it's like, oh, well, straight to TV kind of story there. So, my rating for this is a 3. I say give it a go. If you like the first one, give this one a go because, I always say if you watch one, watch the others because, then you've got the full experience of the character. I mean, I'm going to watch number 3 in a minute and then that's all 3 of them done. And I'm quite glad I'm watching them all in the same night. Because I think if I didn't, I would probably leave it a long period. Because especially after watching this one, so I think, oh, what a terrible kind of thing is going to happen in the third one. This one has gone down by like 1.5, because number 1 was 4.5, and this one's a 3. Is that one going to be a 2? So But anyway, I'm rambling on now. So this is a 3. I hope you enjoyed the review, guys. Let me know what you think of this movie. Definitely check out the first one. Check this one out if you find it really cheap after you've watched the first one. And let me know what you think. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care. And remember, don't say Candyman 5 times because you'll regret it.